All right, we are back again doing the Mayberry Street Summer by the Sea or the beach house, and this time we'll do the dining room. I was going through the book, and as I told you in the video before, I'm kind of grouping it by room. So I looked at this one and stared at it, and there's only a couple pieces, so this will be a shorter video, but that's okay. We're going to start with the table, and we're going to cut out 2 circles, and I'm definitely using the patterns in these. There's a bigger one and a littler one. The smaller one, I guess, would be for this little gingham pattern, and I'm going to push it to the side because I like to use, I don't like to waste material, so I'm just going to mark this out and cut it out. And the larger circle is going to be this kind of suede material, so make sure your pretty side or the fuzzy side is down, and you're going to trace your bigger circle on the back of it and then just cut them out. Once we have both circles, I'm going to make sure the pretty side of the brown material is up now, and then we're going to put the blue gingham right in the middle. Now I started doing this exactly how they wanted us to, so I'm going to glue the wooden piece right in the middle there. And maybe looking back, because I did struggle with this a little bit, I might have just let this part dry completely. And then we're going to try to, so I thought about this a few times, is I'm going to put glue all the way around, and then I'm going to try gathering it up with my fingers and then just kind of holding it there. Doing it this way didn't work for me at all. It didn't stick, as you can see. So plan B, that's okay. I'm going to re-glue the middle. That for some reason didn't stick either. So we're just going to add some more glue. And then I'm going to get my clothespins out. I'm going to start doing each pleat one at a time. So I'm going to put some glue in the middle, gather it up, and then put a clip to hold that one little pleat. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Once I got this all glued and clipped, I'm just gonna set it aside. Not bad. I let this dry for quite a while. So I think I just left it overnight and forgot about it for a while. The best way to do it. And now I'm going to glue the little, there's only one little peg in the middle for it to stand up on. When you flip it over, it's going to be wibbly wobbly. I think that's not until we actually glue it into the main building that will set it up right. Alright, while that's drying, we do have one little vase or vase. And it's just a couple little leaves and a little flower. Now we need a couple chairs to go with our table, right? These were kind of fun to make. So we're going to take one of the little side pieces. There's two different colors, so there's a green one and a blue one. And just make sure your colors go with the right color. Honestly, you probably could have mixed it up and it would have looked cool too. You know, you have the eclectic look. So we're going to put two little pegs on either side. This is going to hold up the chair part. Once you got the little bottom, then you're going to do the backrest part. It took me a second to figure out where this goes, but it kind of lays on the top and then in the middle there. So you kind of line it up. It does lay flat after a while, and I let that dry. So because once you pick that up, it's going to fall to pieces. And then we just put the seat. And here's where I let it dry enough where it won't fall off when I pick it up like this. And then we're going to put the other side. It should fit, if you do it all right into those slots. And there you go. Two little cute chairs. And our table is dry enough to handle. You can see it holds the pleats. And it will wibble wobble because it only has one leg. So it's going to not stand straight until we glue it into the building. So let's set our chairs. There's our table. And then we'll glue our vase on. And a little coffee cup. Our little dining set is done. On to the next. And now we have a little display cabinet. This is where we put all our cool tchotchkes and awards and things like that. This has probably got the most little pieces. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut out this backing, and all these dotted lines show where your wood pieces are going to go. And I kind of set them out so I know this goes on the left, right, middle, and you just glue them right where those lines are. Once you got all your up and down beams, you're going to do your horizontal ones. And just use the little lines as your guide. And this has a slightly bigger piece that goes on top, so it kind of looks like it's a crown molding. Use your piece chart to see which piece goes where, because there's a lot that are very similar in size. So use that chart and you'll be just fine. Now our little cabinet is just full of things. So first we're going to make this, I'm going to say it's a little crystal ball, and it's just put glue at the bottom of this little rivet. It's kind of a decorative rivet, and then your crystal ball bead right on top. Done. And I like to center that little hole there. Next, we're going to make a house to go within the house. It's just a little teeny piece, and there's 2 pieces that we need to cut out here, and you're going to glue it on the front and the back. Once you have that all glued up, we're just going to put the roof. There's one piece that's slightly longer, so it goes up a bit, and then your shorter piece is going to go under that lip. It fits just right if you do it right. And last we have a little sailboat. This sailboat I could see as being very frustrating for some to do. But just take your time. I folded all the little pieces, so there's a little flag that you fold in half. I just use my pliers to crease it. And then there's a sail that you fold in half. You're also going to cut a piece of this silver wire for the mast, and then you're going to glue this long skinny piece all the way around your boat. So that's kind of a striping. Worst case, let's say you totally destroyed this piece of paper, which I almost did. You could paint it. Just paint a line. You really only see one side, honestly. Doing this part is very tricky. I was able to get the mast on, but eventually it kind of fell over like that, and I just built it that way. It's like, okay, fine, that's where you're gonna live. That's where we're gonna build you. So I put the little tiny sail, just laid it there, and I put the little tiny, the flag is even worse. So just stick it on as best you can, and then I just set it aside to dry. Now when I tried to put this little boat in the cabinet, where you're supposed to put it, it fell apart. So what I did is I just built it again, but I built it in the cabinet. So I set the bottom piece, I just laid it to the back, used that as my stabilizer basically, and then I put my little sail here, that did stay together, glued it to the back, and then put my flag on. It seemed to work this way. It just needed a little extra support, and I used that back wall as the support. And you just put all your accessories in there. You got an Eiffel Tower, we got our little crystal ball thing, and then a shell. You have to put these pieces in before you put the outside, otherwise you'll never get them in. Well, I guess you could get them in, it's just trickier. Now before we get too far, we got some books to build. We've done this a million times. So we're just gonna cut them out, fold them up accordion style, and then we'll place them where they want them to go. Alright, I think everything's nice and dry and is going to stay in place for us. Now we can put this facing on. And I looked twice, it did not require a plexiglass cover or anything like that. So that's good, make it easy on us. So it's got a little top piece and then the blue arches. Just glue it right on. And they fit right in there. And now we're gonna do our little house and then some books. looked at our picture and I noticed there was some surfboards, and the only picture that shows these is in the back, and it's very vague. I had to read it a couple times and look at what pieces I had to work with. So basically what they want you to do is cut these little surfboard pictures out and glue them on the cardboard and then cut them out there so they are nice and stiff. So what I did is I just roughly cut them out and then glued them down, and then I cut them out right to the line once this dried. It was just easier for me. There we go. Now we got that part done. So it looks like we got everything that was needed in the dining room. Ta-da! We got a cute little dining table, couple chairs. We got our coffee, all important. Some surfboards, because this is a beach house after all. We live right on the beach in this house. And then, of course, our display cabinet of all our travels. This was an easy set. It was kind of nice after doing a little bit of complicated building a piano and things like that. So, stay tuned for the next round. We're going to build the bedroom. Dun dun dun!